At the beginning of a new year, people are most interested in a few different questions. What can we expect from the year? What will it bring us? In an attempt to understand it, we turn to astrologers and determine the compatibility with a partner, choose the best time to implement plans, and explain what is going on. A new wave of popularity has risen in astrology, fortune-telling, tarot cards, natal and wish charts, zodiac signs, and the request to the universe. Astrologers become guests at secular shows about the future. Famous people share their positive experiences and the contact info of a personal astrologer. The question, "What is your zodiac?" follows immediately after, "What is your name?" The behavior and character of a person standing next to you is easily explained by his date of birth. What should we treat this? And is it possible for Christians to read his horoscope just for the heck of it? Let's figure it out. Let's dive into the history. Since ancient times, people have been attracted to the sky. Everything that happens on Earth seems to depend on what's happening in the sky, and vice versa. All wars and cataclysms were explained by the god's wrath and the planet's influence. Solar eclipses and other celestial phenomena resulted in human behavior or a prediction that something would happen on Earth. Therefore, the sky was subjected to intensive study. It was believed that the astronomers of the Babylonian Empire in the 5th century BC were the first to notice permanent clusters of stars. The Babylonian sages determined a pattern. Every month, the visible constellations changed, and a year later, it repeated again. And thanks to the Greeks, each constellation got a name. So there we have it, 12 signs of the zodiac. Since that time, horoscope predictions have appeared in many civilizations. Usually, a horoscope was compiled by an astrologer or the king in prediction of a time, a place, favorable for a particular event of national importance. Later, the selection of horoscopes for each year became very popular among ordinary people. The first horoscopes were very vague and similar to each other, so they were suitable for almost everyone. The decline of astrology began in the 17th century. Due to the development of science, deeper study of the sky, Galileo Galilei and Nicholas Copernicus discovered the authority and truthfulness of horoscopes were severely undermined. Astrology separated from astronomy and became considered a pseudoscience. However, at the beginning of the 20th century, Alan Leo revived interest in astrology and made horoscopes especially popular. He created individual horoscopes, personal predictions that differed from each other based on the signs of the zodiac. This commercial move brought Alan Leo popularity and money, and the interest in predictions helped it survive to the present day. Now, everyone's predictions for the day, week, and year are heard over the radio, television, and can be found on the internet. Despite the fact that there's more evidence of the anti-science and in many ways the absurdity of astrology, many people diligently believe and adjust their lives to fortune telling, sometimes starting off their day with a cup of coffee and your daily horoscope. You pay and get a personal fortune teller. Have your own astrologer to consult at any time of day. Check if your spouse is right for you, and find incompatibility in your relationship based on your zodiac sign. The simple explanation for a bad habit of not cleaning up after yourself or responding sharply is not carelessness and bad manners, but that you were born in the year of the dragon under the sign of Scorpio. Of course, if you look at it soberly, this sounds weird. However, the popularity of horoscope, even among Christians, proves that many people take everything seriously. Let's see what science says about this. In the 20th century, there was an astrologer in France by the name of Michel Gauquelin. He was a man who believed in astrology. However, studying the influence of the stars on the fate of man and conducting various experiments, Gauquelin came to the conclusion that astrology has no scientific evidence. Since the division of the constellation belt into 12 parts occurred in ancient times, it was not yet known that our Earth revolves around the sun and not vice versa. There is still a lot of planets and other celestial bodies invisible to the naked eye. However, the influence of new discoveries is not taken into account. This attitude makes fortune telling inaccurate. Due to the slightly slow movement of the Earth, the grid of the conditional division of the sky has shifted, and now should have 13 parts. But all calculations are still carried out according to the ancient division. It is also logical that 1/12 of the population of our planet cannot have the same horoscope. People who are born in the same place and at the same time do not become the same because of these factors. And finally, what does the Bible say about horoscopes and astrology? During the first pinnacle of astrology, God warned his people that this was an abomination in his eyes. For example, God spoke to Jeremiah during this time and said, all the houses where they burned incense on the roofs to all the starry hosts and poured out drink offerings to other gods. Even earlier in Deuteronomy, God says, and when you look up to the sky and see the sun and the moon and the stars, all of the heavenly arrays, do not be enticed into bowing down to them. And the nations you are about to displace consult sorcerers and fortune tellers, but the Lord your God forbids you to do such things. Often in the Bible, sorcerers are people who serve unclean spirits and are possessed by demons. For example, in Acts, we were met by a female slave who had a spirit by which she predicted the future. She earned a great deal of money for her owners by fortune telling. Sometimes it seems to us, well, I'm joking, it's just for fun. But the spiritual world is much more real than we think. Flirt with something that is dangerous or simply unknown puts us in harm's way of reaping the fruit of such thoughtless actions. And perhaps the most important thing is that God himself created the sky and everything on it. How can the creation be more important than the creator? All the heavenly bodies are in the power of God and obey him. In the book of Isaiah, it is written, all the advice you receive has made you tired. Where are all your astrologers, those stargazers who made predictions each month? Let them stand up and save you from what the future holds. But they are like straw burning in a fire. Only God knows our future. There are no wise men, enchanters, magicians, or fortune tellers who can reveal the king's secrets. But there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets. Let's put our future in the hands of a loving God who knows what's best for us. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, or write a comment. This will help spread the word. In the description below, you will find additional information on this topic.